Kyle, got some guys on here already. Awesome. Cool, guys. So first of all, before I get into your guys' questions, those who are on my email list, the people that grab my free workouts and stuff, some people, the other day I posted that you could get a free workout. People are like, oh, you're going to spam my email. Yeah, spam you with, like, the opportunity to get questions answered for me, right? So, the people that replied to that email are the people whose questions I'm answering first. So, the first one is from Ali Sheik. Hopefully I said that right. I think you commented on my videos and you said your dad watches the videos. But anyways, she says, Jesse, I would like to ask, do I really have the ability to become an insane ball handler even though I'm a beginner? My answer to that question is 100% absolutely yes. Without question, you can become an insane ball handler even if you're a beginner. Everyone starts somewhere, first of all, right? You know, Kyrie Irving, there was a time when I bet you he was a terrible ball handler, right? What did he do? He put in practice, right? He did the right things. His dad, I know, coached him a lot. So that's one big thing is it's number one, putting in the time and putting in smart, focused, intense practice. But on top of that, making sure that the practice is going to get you the best possible results. That's why I bring you guys these videos, my programs. I'll offer you the free workouts, you know, the tips I give you guys on my emails. All that's there to help you guys improve. Just so you guys know, I know some of you guys are leaving chats and stuff. I'm trying to keep this one specifically focused on basketball moves. So I'm only going to answer the chats that are about basketball moves for this one. So if you got any questions about moves, I'm here to help you guys. But Ali, one other big thing as far as your question goes, work on your moves, right? Work on your moves, your combos. That's huge. So the next one is from Misora Nambara. Hopefully I said that right. I think I'm pretty close. He says, hi, Coach Jesse. I was wondering how to get a very good defender to bite on an Iverson crossover. Now, that's a fantastic question. The problem is with the Iverson cross, you got to get close to your defender, right? Because if you're far from your defender, like if your defender's here and you're here, and you sell a fake this way, they have all this cushion to react to the move. So you got to get closer on that setup. So when you take your first step, you can get a little bit past them on that step or make them think you could. That's how you really get them to bite on the fake. So it might be intimidating if you're trying to do that Iverson cross on a really good defender, right? You're like, oh, what if they steal the ball? But the thing is, you have to face that fear and get close to your defender if you really want them to bite on that fake. If you're far away, they don't have as much of a reason to bite, but you get closer. Now when you take that step and you lean into that fake, man, there is a lot better chance that they're going to bite on it. The other key is that you want to pay attention to the execution points of the actual move, right? You want to make sure you're giving a good step. You want to make sure that you're leaning into the fake, giving a little ball movement. Your eyes are looking in the direction. All those little keys are going to pay off big time. So you want to make sure those are in place if you really want to get that defender to bite on that Iverson cross. So that's a huge one. And again, if it's a high-level defender, face your fear. Don't be afraid of them. Get close to them. How to do the Rondo behind the back fake pass if you cannot palm the ball. Cuff it. So I should have a basketball here, but I don't. Here, we'll use this foam roller. So if you can't palm the ball, obviously you're not going to be able to do it with just your hands, right? So what you would want to do is kind of curl it up into your forearm like this. So you can see here, right? You would take your hand to push the ball into your forearm. And then you could use your forearm as a base to control the basketball as well. So you can get your whole arm wrapped around it more. So then you would do that while you're going behind the back. That's how you can kind of pin it to the forearm and keep control over the basketball. Also, make sure you try to get your fingers wide and try to keep your hand under the ball more. That'll make it so the ball doesn't go flying out of your hands. If your hand's positioned like this, the ball can't move out of your hand that way, right? But if you have it here like this, now the ball can fly out of your hand that way while it's behind your back. So big thing to pay attention to. How to sell my drive fakes better? Great question, Adrian. Guys, some of you guys are chatting about like shooting and stuff. Just so you know, only gonna be talking about moves on this one, okay? So how to sell your drive fakes comes back to things I was just talking about with the Iverson cross fake. You want to make sure you're using your eyes, your hips, your chest. Get a little closer to your defender. Your drive fakes are gonna work a lot better on that. I don't know if you're talking about more to create separation for a shot, or to sell a fake and then drive the other way. But either way, getting a little bit tighter to your defender is going to help because, again, that makes them think mentally, psychologically, get in their head and think danger, right? When you get to the point where you're close to them or starting to step past them, to be a good defender, they have to move. If they don't move, then you just go past them, right? And then their coach is like, okay, what are you doing? You're not even moving on defense, and they get put on the bench. So psychologically, that's all going through their head, right? They don't want to get beat on defense. So by getting closer before you sell those fakes, that's going to make it a lot more effective. But besides that, make sure you give a little step into it, lean your hips and your chest in it, because what are good defenders taught to follow? hips in your chest, right? So you got to lean into those fakes if you want to sell them to create those opportunities to, you know, get a shot off of that drive fake or to drive the other direction. How do I blow past a defender if they're putting their hands on me and right in front of me? Great question. So if they're playing really physical contact defense, you as the offensive player have the right to, you know, try to disengage that contact or create contact with them as well, right? If the ref's not going to call them putting their hands on you, why would they call you, you know, using your hand to kind of slap that hand away, right? So you don't want to be exaggerated with it, but you have the right to kind of use your hands to free up space or even pin their hand down. Check out my 5 basketball moves that defenders hate video. I go really in depth on that one as far as those defenders that really like to play with a lot of contact on you and put their hands on you. That'll help you a lot with being able to drive past them, protect the basketball, and continue to, you know, be more effective with it in moves. I need help. Dion Fountain says, I need help with my handle. I'm an average. Ooh, my bad. I'm an above average ball handler, but I can't get past my defender. Please help. Great question. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are like this, right? I hear that all the time. I'm a good ball handler, but I can't get past my defender. Couple things you're gonna want to look at is what's your first step look like? Do you have a good first step? How's your footwork, right? Because at the end of the day, like I always tell my players, like, a lot of people like to think about their moves as being about like behind the back, between the legs. All that stuff's important, but really that just protects the basketball and brings it along for the ride. What's really getting you past your defender is you got to get past your defender, right? So your feet are what do that. So you got to work at your footwork. You got to work on that first step. And you got to work on, you know, selling your fakes and things like that. And then again, spacing, right? It's going to be a lot harder to get past your defender and beat them if you're way back here, right? They have a head start on you. But if you get closer to them, work your way closer to them with some setups or some, you know, casual dribbles to kind of close that gap. Kyrie does it all the time. He'll just like walk right up to the defender casual until he closes that gap. And then that's when you hit them with the moves and you try to get past them. So hopefully that helps you guys out. What else we got here? What should I do when I drive? Oh, these are chats are flying through. Joel Samuel says, Coach, what should I do when I drive into a taller defender and don't like to go through contact? What move should I use if I don't like it? Joel, you got to learn to like contact, man. You could do moves to evade them, okay? Yeah, and you could definitely do things like Euro steps to fake them out and use some ball movement. But at the end of the day, you got to, if you want to be a great basketball player, ball handler, good at driving, anything, you got to start learning to adapt to contact. Now, here's the thing. A lot of players, I think, have a problem with contact because they feel like, well, if there's contact from the defender, now I'm out of control. Well, that's 100% true unless you initiate the contact. That's why I always tell my players, if you're going into the lane and you feel like a defender is going to try to, you know, come up on you, make contact, and bump you out of the way or, you know, put you off balance, you should be the one initiating the contact so that way you are now in control. They're the one now that has to be afraid of the contact, right? So if you're coming into the lane, don't like run right into them, but kind of, you know, bump, kind of veer to bump into them or even come in front of them and kind of seal them off. That's one great way you can start to, you know, get used to contact. The other thing I'd tell you is get low when you create the contact. So use your shoulder, try to attack towards their hip. That'll make dealing with contact a lot better. But yeah, honestly, you gotta start to learn to deal with contact. But besides that, use your footwork again. If you really absolutely can't use contact, you know, work on some more of those like side layups, hook shots, floaters, Euro steps to be more evasive. Things like that will help a lot. But at the end of the day, I would recommend getting both down, right? Being good with evading the contact and going around defender, faking them out, but also working on that other side of things, which would be, you know, taking the contact and initiating the contact. Is Streetball move necessary? Good question, Sean Old Duck. That's a great name. Streetball moves, are they necessary? I say no, they are not necessary. Now, interesting, because you're probably like, well, Coach, you've got like a lot of old videos doing a lot of Streetball moves. Guys, you got to realize a lot of that's more for entertainment. But at the same time, I'm not going to say like Streetball moves are a waste of time. Don't mess around with them. Like those are some of the things that I found have really helped develop my handle. I look a lot at more the Streetball things. I've learned a lot more as far as from Streetball. You can find new techniques and ways to approach your defender as far as reading them and taking advantage of how they're playing you. So you can learn a lot about that from Streetball. And then also like more of the flashy moves. A lot of times I look at them as more like drills. Okay, you have to do some really crazy, difficult stuff. So a lot of times that forces your footwork to be faster and sharper. It forces you to have better ball control, better speed with your dribbles. And I look at that kind of stuff as more just a way to develop my fundamental handle. But when game time comes, I'm going to stick overall more fundamental, and then maybe throw an occasional street ball thing in the mix just to throw my defender off, right? Catch them off guard. Maybe even get some oohs and ahs if it's more of an entertainment type game. But typically, you know, when we're talking more like what your coach wants to see, stick more fundamental. So I would say street ball moves are not necessary, but they can absolutely help develop your game. But just don't like make them like the meat and potatoes of what you're doing in games, right? Don't make them the main thing. So hopefully that helps. Ball is Life says, when I do fake, my fake does not work, and defender is always physical tall, so I can't make a layup, and I'm also a good ball handler, but I can't pass through them. Yeah, I kind of answered that a little bit ago, man. I pretty much exact same question. Maybe you hopped on a little bit after. Watch the replay once this is done, because I literally just answered it like 2 questions ago. What else we got? How do I get fouled more while driving towards the basket like James Harden, says Abe Perez? Great question, dude. So a little bit, that comes a little bit back to what I was talking about before, you know, initiating contact. But the thing Harden does all the time is he just puts the ball out there. He does like what most coaches always tell you to protect the basketball or keep it away from the defender, use your body to shield it. Harden is like unconventional that way. He just puts the ball out there like, hey, come and get it, right? And he waits for the defender to go for it. And right as they're about to go for the basketball, boom, he moves his arms. So where the ball was when they try to hit the ball, now his arms are there and they hit his arms, easy and ones. The other thing about that though is you got to be mentally prepared for it, right? So when you're going to the basket and you're about to move the basketball, you know you're going to get hit probably, right? So you got to be mentally like prepared for that so you can be strong, still take the contact, and then get the finish, right? Because that's what makes Harden look like a beast. He gets those and ones. He doesn't just get the foul call. I mean, yeah, he gets a lot of free throws and sometimes doesn't make the layup, but a lot of times he can finish those because he's baiting the defender and anticipating. So putting the ball out there either high or sometimes low, and not being afraid to kind of put your arms out there a little more and extend the basketball. Just be ready to move it quick and also be strong, okay? What else we got for questions about moves? My drive is pretty bad. When I drive, it keeps slipping from my hands. Any tips? Yeah, so first of all, just work on your moves off the, like a lot of players will work on like their moves stationary, or they'll work on like layups in the layup line where you're just kind of driving regular. Work on a good hard move, like your Tim Hardaway UTEP two-step or your Iverson cross, and keep that intensity going all the way to the hoop. That's just one simple thing you can do to develop it. But besides that, I would say work on gripping the basketball with your fingers. Work on your grip. Check out my video on how to palm a basketball. Now, you might be saying, well, Coach, my question is about how can I drive better? Why are you telling me to watch a video about how to palm a basketball? Well, if you could palm a basketball, you have better control over your dribble, your pass, your shot. Everything on offense where you are using the basketball is going to be much improved, okay? So work on your grip and then focus on that when you're driving. Work on gripping it with those fingers, getting the hands wide, using not the fingertips, but like the very end pads to really grip the basketball and digging your fingers into the basketball. That's going to help you a ton. Besides that, you know, just, yeah, work on, again, like the game-specific moves and doing them full game intensity. That'll help you a bunch so you don't lose the ball as much. How to make defenses fall if a defender is aggressive. Again, watch my 5 basketball moves that defenders hate. That's great for aggressive defenders. It's going to really help you deal with that contact and make it so it's a disadvantage for them to play defense like that on you. But besides that, you know, if you're trying to make your defender fall, get your shoulder low. Always attack your shoulder to their hip. So my right shoulder, I would attack to the defender's right hip. So if you're my defender, I would be attacking to your right hip, or vice versa, left to left, right? So come across the body, get that shoulder low. So now when there's contact, you have a lower center of gravity. It's just like a running back in football, right? They get their center of gravity low so they don't get knocked around. The defender does, okay? Same thing. You don't want to like actually go into their hip though. You're trying to just barely, like if this is their hips, you want to just barely edge around them and maybe even lean into them a little bit as you're starting to get past them, but you don't want to like run right into them, then you're going to get called for an offensive foul. How to jelly layup. I got a video on that. Check out my 5, what is it called? 5 funky layups video. That one's got the jelly layup in there. I go into a little bit, but basically all you do is when you go up for your layup, you kind of cock the ball back, and then you kind of scoop under. This, you know, a lot of people talk about like the details, like your legs got to split and all that. Like I didn't even do a full tutorial on YouTube because everyone's like super analytical about, oh, your legs got to be this way and this and that. At the end of the day, I just care about getting buckets, right? So the jelly layup is good for that though, right? Selling that little fake by bringing the ball back, so then you can get the defender to get their timing thrown off, make them jump, and then come under. Now, a more basic way, maybe I'll do this for a full breakdown video, but a more basic way to do it would be to two-hand it, right? To make it a little easier so you have better control, and then coming under. But that's pretty much it. You're going to come from one side and then bring the ball to the opposite side and finish with like an underhand layup. A lot of times guys will do like a goofy hand reverse with that too. So hopefully that'll help you guys out. What else we got for questions or flying through? Getting buckets, Dab. How to, what do we got here? How do I reverse layup with left hand? Same as your right hand, man. So, you know, I don't know why people always ask these questions. Like, anything you do with your right hand is the same with your left hand. It's just the opposite. That's everything. Everything in basketball. Except for your shooting. And I usually talk about that in my YouTube videos. There's a little bit differences with your footwork. But when it comes to layups, dribble moves, everything is exactly the same. So basically with the reverse, the only thing I would say is, you know, you want to make sure you're putting a little spin on the basketball. Typically, I usually like to do it that way. But same thing with your left hand. You would think about like turning a doorknob, but kind of turning sideways, right? When you release the ball, you want to put that kind of a spin on the basketball. And make sure you try to work on putting that little bit of a spin on, finishing a little bit wider. Those things are going to help a lot. What else we got here? All questions about moves, guys. So it's got to be stuff about moves, you know, layup moves, dribble moves, anything. That's what I'm trying to hit on, trying to keep this one focused. Coach, I've seen many videos how to dribble like Harden because he does simple dribble moves but blow by them easily. Great. It's not really a question, but great point, Abe. And this is one thing, since we're talking about moves, Harden is a master with moves in a very sneaky way. I love watching Harden because he's got a very different style. There's not too many players that I've seen use moves the way he does. Not nearly as often. He sticks to pretty basic moves. He doesn't do a lot of, like, he does some between the legs, but you don't see him do a lot of behind the back. You won't see him do a lot of spin moves. You know, not even a lot of between the legs from the back. It's usually regular between the legs, regular crossovers, and regular dribbles. What he's a master of, though, is footwork. Crazy footwork. He'll throw some unexpected combinations in with his feet with those basic dribble moves, and that's really allowed him to be crafty, give the defender something unexpected, give them mixed signals so they freeze up and don't know what to do, get them to bite on fakes. So a couple quick examples would be like crossing over one way and then he'll move the other. That's like one thing he'll do a lot. Or he'll like float the dribble and take like a little side shuffle back, right? Little things like that. He's a master at putting those in the mix. So that's something you guys can work on, is just taking your moves and going more basic, right? Just between the legs, maybe crossover, regular dribbles, maybe the occasional in and out. I don't even see him do too many of those really either. But taking those and then adding more, you know, footwork, right? Getting a little more, you know, extra footwork stuff in there. Whoop, what do we got here? My bad. I just had a good question that went, how to improve dribbling without the ball? That's kind of a, not quite move question, but a good question anyway. And someone else had a good question I missed. How to let moves look more flashy. That's another good one. Okay, so first of all, how to improve dribbling without the ball. I got a video on that. Actually, oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Got to give you a big update. I'm going to have an at-home drills video coming soon. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in there, but I also have one already about how to improve your handles at home. But coming, make sure you stay tuned on Saturday and Sunday morning. I'm going to have a video on Saturday on how to get better at home, shooting without a hoop, footwork, some unexpected things, and also your handles, of course. All how to improve those at home. So make sure you stay tuned for that Saturday. And then Sunday, speaking of the other question, because you wanted to see put more flashy elements in your moves, I'm going to have two tricky moves, crossover moves, from an NBA player who I think is the most underrated ball handler in the NBA. Leave me a chat and let me know who you think that probably is, who the most underrated ball handler is in the NBA, in my opinion. But two of his moves that are insane, so insane. Sunday, you guys, stay tuned. Those moves are crazy. And I'm going to show you some drills to master those moves as well. But as far as how to just get your moves more flashy, it's just a matter of like more hip movement, more chest movement, little shimmies, footwork, you know, maybe showing the ball a little more. That's how you make your moves more flashy if you want to do that. Now, keep in mind, most coaches don't really want to see that sort of thing. Also, guys, one other thing I want to let you know, I got some more game footage, some more like kind of street ball highlight type stuff. If you guys want to see that, let me know, say game footage in the chat, and I don't know when I'm going to upload that one yet. I'm waiting to see when you guys want to see it. I'm probably going to do it maybe this week, probably next week, but let me know game footage. If I get a bunch of comments on that, I'll probably drop it sooner. Hey, coach, I've always wanted to dribble like Harden, but my left hand is so weak it's hard to dribble and catch the ball. Can you help me? Great question. You guys, I've got a ton of drills on my YouTube channel. Like, a lot of the things you guys are asking, like in my YouTube videos, in the comments, in these chats, like, I've already got videos for. Search my channel, guys. Go to my channel. There's a little search box. I've got at least 4 videos on weak hand. Probably like 6, actually, on improving your weak hand. Do the drills. Do the drills, work on game-specific moves with your offhand, all that stuff. It's huge. Let's see here. Coach, I'm coming in to take a 3. I tend to travel while the ball spins in my hand. How could I stop this? Great question. So while the ball is spinning in your hand, this is a gray area. A lot of refs will not call your steps when the ball's just spinning in one hand. They won't really call your steps until you have both hands on the basketball. So kind of a weird thing. But some refs will. They'll start counting your steps. So you got to know the refs and how they are in your league and what they call. If you can get away with spinning the basketball while it's in one hand and taking multiple steps, because you can take as many steps as you want while you're actually dribbling, since they don't know you're going to pick up the ball yet, some refs will let you get away with that. Now, if you can, I would take advantage of that. But if they won't, just work on your footwork. Slow down in your practice and just go dribble 1, 2 steps or dribble into a hop and work on that gather time. Slow it down, rep it out, gradually increase the speed so you can do it more game speed eventually, but slow it down. That's one thing I see with players a lot too, even when I'm training them and they're we're working on their footwork with a move or into a layup and they're doing their footwork all wrong. I say, hey, slow down. Like, I have to like really get on them. Like, just slow down, get it right. Get your footwork right, and then gradually increase the speed. Everyone wants to go into everything 100 miles an hour a lot of times, and because of that, the move's not as effective. The layup's not as effective. You travel going into your jump shot. Slow it down, take your time, and eventually improve. No problem, man. Slow down will help. Glad I could help you. How to increase your air time during a layup. Improve your vertical. Make sure you're kicking when you're going up for your layup. I'm going to try to stand up here. Whichever layup leg you're lifting for that layup, lift it high. Push it into the air. That'll give you more hang time, more vertical. If you're a 1-footed jumper, if you're a 2-footed jumper, use your arms a little bit more. That'll give you a little bit more hang time and a little bit more vertical. But besides that, I mean, there's really nothing. You can't like defy gravity, right? Some people say it looks like players do, but you can't literally do that. The only thing you can really do is use your arms and legs to give you more momentum to kind of float in the air a little more. But you're not going to be able to, physically actually stay in the air that much longer. Besides that tip, that'll help you. Besides that, you're at the mercy of gravity and how high you can jump. So working on your vertical, strength training, plyometrics, all that stuff will help. Squats, deadlifts, those things will help. I need a quick drink here, guys. Which is more effective? Switching hands on a spin move or keeping the ball in the same hand? Great question, Jake. And I'm not sure which part of the spin move you're talking about. One thing I see a lot with players is if I got the ball in this hand, they'll switch hands and then spin. You don't want to do that, because if I switch hands here, as I'm turning my back to you, you can, boom, come in and pick that basketball. That's why I want to pull it back. So if you try to come and pick the basketball, this is the hand without the basketball and I got protection. After that, you want to switch hands typically. Kyrie's got this one move he does where he'll keep it in this backhand, pull it back, and he'll spin all the way around. Can't do it because I'm on a chair and I don't got room to do the full spin. He'll spin all the way around and keep it in that hand and come back to the right-hand side if he started with the right hand. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, if there's a little gap, like where there's 2 defenders, sometimes that kind of a motion will be good to kind of push it between the gap. Or if, say, you got a defender here, you're spinning around him, and there's another defender here, keeping it in that right hand will allow you to get it back around that second or that first guy that you beat and not let that second guy get to the basketball. So that's the one little instance you might want to do it that way. But for the most part, I would say switch hands. Okay, so start with one hand, pull it back. After you pretty much completed the spin, then switch hands. So that's a good thing to pay attention to. What else we got, you guys? How to answer? I'm here. Raffi, hold on, from Indonesia. Thanks for stopping by, dude. Watch the replay of this. I'm gonna have the recording of it available. I talked about that already, a bunch of different ways to draw fouls. So, how to draw fouls like Harden, taking contact, putting the ball out there so they kind of go for it and then move. Things like that will help a lot, man. But watch the replay. I go a lot of more in depth earlier in this video. So, make sure you guys pay attention to the replay and check that out. Coach, how do I change my speed while dribbling and see my defender's momentum and make them take time to shift their body towards me? That's a lot. That's a high IQ question, though, too. I love that, dude. So, I forgot half of it already. Change my speed while dribbling. Okay, so one thing you guys got to work on for that change of speed is work on fast dribbles, obviously. Work on slow dribbles, right? That's how you can get a change of speed. But on top of that, work on a little bit of these higher dribbles and floating your dribble. That's one thing coaches, like when I was little, they always said not to do. Keep it below hip height, never dribble up to shoulder height, dribble it real fast, pound the dribble every single time. I'm not going to tell you you should never dribble below hip height. That's definitely beneficial, and there's a time and a place for it. I'm not going to tell you not to pound the dribble, but you also need these dribbles where you dribble up to about shoulder height and you slow it down a little bit, okay? That's going to allow you to get that change of speed so you can put your defender to sleep and then, boom, hit them with that move. That's where you can get a lot of guys, and that's how you could start shifting them, coming from more slow and maybe a little bit more upright and then dropping down and then going into that movement, selling that fake, leaning into it, showing the ball a little more. That's how you really shift defenders. And like we talked about earlier in this Q&A, get a little bit closer to that defender. Everything's going to be a lot more effective with your fakes. They're going to be a lot more likely to bite on that fake. What else we got here? How am I supposed to counter messy, aggressive defenders? I don't know what that means. If you mean like they're just like physically like playing aggressive and not like very controlled, then, you know, let them try to initiate that contact, and then, like, for me, like, I like it when they try to play me tight, because then I can just spin off of them. Your spin moves are going to be great with that. Behind the backs are going to be great with that. And, you know, just your fakes in general. Like, if you get a good step and movement into that direction, it's going to be a lot more hard for them to be aggressive. So, spin moves behind the backs and just move around more, right? It's going to be hard for them to really play physical and tight on you if you're moving. It's hard for them to really actually give some, you know, good, you know, wrap you up or whatever the case may be if you're moving around more. So, you know, that's one of the main things I would pay attention to as far as that goes. How do I do the Tim Hardaway and combo with that? Tim Hardaway, between the legs, lean into that fake, cross back over even quicker. Leaning into it is important. But this is one of those dribble combos where you want to do a little more rapid fire. Boom, boom with the dribbles, right? So between the legs quick, and then crossover back quick right away. Besides that, check out, I got a video on YouTube about how to Tim Hardaway. Like a lot of these questions you guys are asking me. Search my channel. Got a lot of details to help you a lot with the Tim Hardaway crossover. Yeah, how to do that. That's another good question off of that, Sean O'Doc. How to do the Tim Hardaway crossover without hesitation. Yeah, so big tip I can give you guys. I'm going to stand up here so you can kind of see more. When you go between the legs here, don't let the ball come out way wide here and up high. Keep it low and tight to the leg and push it back across. So between, push it back across tight, okay? It's hard to show you guys this stuff while doing live chat in my room here. But that's key. Keep the ball tight to your leg. That'll make it quicker. Lean into that fake. But besides that, search my YouTube videos for, you know, you can go to my channel. There's a little search bar. You can go to search Tim Hardaway, and you'll. I think I've got like a bunch of different, like 3-4 different videos with different kinds of combos and variations of it. But I can show you a lot better in those videos full court. But between the legs, lean into it, crossover, keep the ball tight to the leg so it goes just barely around your leg. That'll help make the move more rapid fire. Doing whatever necessary to explain. I'm trying to, man. All right. What can you do to make defenders bite on fakes? I already covered that. So, guys, I'm going to have the replay of this. Watch it again, but eyes, hips, chest, get all that moving in the direction you're faking. Use a little ball movement. Make sure you move your foot in that direction and get closer to your defender, especially on the fakes where you're trying to get the defender to move somewhere. No, it's all good, man. You probably hopped on later, Tyrese. And with your shot fake, I'll give you guys a little something different, because so far I've been talking about more like drive fakes. Shot fake hesitation, right? Pay attention to the details. Eyes to the rim, offhand by the basketball, all that stuff, or even a pump fake. You know, get your feet positioned like you're gonna shoot. One tip, actually, guys, this is something different I want to give you. every single fake you do, it should be, okay, like, let me step back a second. Every single move you do, there's like a step 1, 2, 3, 4, or something like that, right? So on a crossover, the Iverson cross, you hesitate, you step out, and then you're going to lean into it, and then, you know, and typically what you would do, your step 1 would be upright, drop down, go, drive, right? Iverson, the same things are going to apply. Upright, drop down, but then the step 3, you change, right? So a fake basically just takes steps 1 and 2 of the thing you're faking, and then you're going to change like step 3, okay? Does that make sense, you guys? So step 1, 2, 3 of the thing that you want the defender to think you're doing should look exactly the same. Everything about your body, the basketball, your eyes, your footwork should be exactly the same. And then when you get to step 3, you're going to do something different, right? That's what a good fake should be, okay? So if you ever have to work on your fakes, like one thing, you guys, the best tool you can use to develop your fakes is a phone or a camcorder or something to film yourself, okay? You want to make sure that you're filming yourself, first of all, doing the thing you're working on your fake. So you can say, okay, how are my feet positioned on my shot fake, or my actual shot, I should say? Or how are my feet positioned in my body when I'm going to drive? Look at the basketball. Look at your footwork, your body positioning, every little detail you could think of, and say, okay, this is how it looks. Then go back to the gym. We're talking about how to sell a move right now, Manuel. And when you go to the gym, then make sure that you're putting all those first steps in the fake, and then the step 3 is a little bit different, right? So if you're going to fake your drive, make sure steps 1 and 2 look just like your drive, and then boom, at the last second, go into that crossover or go into that shot, right? Working on that will help you guys a ton. So that's huge. How to draw a fall before shooting. Good question. That's kind of like a move, all right? So first of all, if you're going to go for a shot, guys get guys with this all the time, pump fake, right? Shot fake hesitation. But when the defender jumps towards you, what most players do, they'll try to jump away. Now, if the guy's coming towards you, jump into that contact or just straight up and let them make contact with you, you're going to get that foul call, right? That's a huge one. And besides that, you could also do like a step back and make it seem like you're going to step back really far, but just step back short, right? So when you're starting, it seems like you're going to come back far. The defender's expecting that, but when you just come back short, boom, they're going to bump into you. Quick, go up for that shot, quick. Boom, there's your and one, right? Easy shot. Guys, I'm going to stick on for about 5-10 minutes yet here because I'm starting to lose my voice. Questions about moves, guys. Just doing moves right now. How to spin faster when you do a spin move? Great question. Got the perfect answer for you. And it's so easy. When you spin, focus on your eyes and your head. If you turn your eyes and try to get your eyes facing back forward quicker and turn your head quicker, your body will naturally follow, okay? So just focus on your eyes and your head, trying to turn that around, and your body will naturally follow. Instantly will make your spin move quicker. And also focus on making sure you're gripping the basketball good with your fingers, getting your hand more in front of the ball so you can pull it back quicker. So those are two big tips, but especially the eyes and the head. That's a huge one. Had a good one. Do you know how to cross some defenders easy and fast? Good question, Jack Michael. Just had a video last week, about a week and a half ago, 3 easy moves to break ankles. Check that out. Those moves are so simple. Anyone can get them down and start breaking ankles today. Like today. You can learn the moves today. You just follow the little tips I give you in there, and I guarantee you might not maybe get someone to fall, but you'll get guys shifting a little bit more, and you'll cross dudes up, okay? A lot of the tips that you want to pay attention to is that you're getting some movement in with your hips and your chest, but also, again, spacing is huge, or getting some momentum going as far as just moving with your feet to get a little bit of a running start. You can cross a lot of dudes with that. But watch that video, 3 easy moves to break ankles. Just uploaded it like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. Good stuff in there for you guys, so that'll help you a ton. Do you have to be able to do crazy moves to be a good point? No, man. You don't. Oh man, they're flying through. Elias Abbas. No, you don't need crazy moves to be a good point guard, man. Watch, most NBA point guards most of the time, like Russell Westbrook, gets triple doubles like crazy. Yeah, he does a sham god here and there and whatever, but if you watch most of what he does, it's just like regular dribbles, regular crossovers. He doesn't do too much flash. But dude racks up triple doubles like crazy. I mean, yeah, his athleticism helps him as well, but he's not the only one. Like, watch even like Steve Nash back in his day. He didn't do a lot of, like, he did some flashy passes, but his dribble moves, they were pretty basic for the most part. James Harden, his moves are pretty basic, but he does stuff with more the footwork that are a little bit more crazy. But even then, like, you don't need a ton of crazy stuff. You just got to be a little more effective with everything you're doing. Now, getting the crazy moves down is absolutely beneficial and can help take you next level and give you more options for different game situations. But to be a great point guard, just being really, really good with your basics can help you a lot. Even like Jamal Crawford, he's a great example. He can do some flashy stuff, but 9 times out of 10, he's going to start from this hang dribble, float it up in the air, and then he's going to hit him with either a drive, a shot, or a crossover. Like, that's his bread and butter. Maybe a few hezzies here and there for a shot fake hezzy, but that's like his bread and butter, man. That's like almost everything that he does. So yeah, you don't need a whole bunch of crazy stuff to beat your defenders. Questions are flying through. How to cross over attackers and defenders when they unite as a group? What should I do? Good question. Here's the answer. Pass the ball. If you got like a whole bunch of defenders in front of you, pass the ball. Find the open teammate. Now, if you're playing like 21 or something where there's multiple defenders and you're like it's you against everyone, then get some more movement involved, okay? To try to, get everyone moving so there can be these little gaps that you can split between the defenders, or maybe you can get the edge around all of them. The other tip I would say is if you absolutely have to, again, pass if you can, but if you have to try to beat them, find the defender that you feel like is the weakest of the defenders and try to really exploit that defender and beat that one person instead of trying to focus on the whole group. You're going to have a lot harder time. So pick your guy out and be like, that's the guy I'm going to beat. And then go attack him. And I think you're going to find you have a lot better chance of beating him. Coach, I'm scared to injure the defender. What can I do? Man, don't be scared. Everyone on the court is at the same risk of getting hurt. I've got hurt bad. I've torn my Achilles. I broke my wrist 3 times playing basketball. It's part of the game. So, everyone that goes onto the court knows that. They know there's that risk. So, man, you can't worry about them. You can't worry even about you getting injured. You just got to go out there and play hard. And injuries are going to happen from time to time. It's what you do in your practice that can help prevent it, and your recovery and things like that can help prevent it. But things are going to happen in the flow of the game if you're playing intense, and, you really can't worry about that. That's just the way it is, man. What else do we got for questions about moves? How to reverse layup, I think you're asking. I already actually answered that one. So watch the replay when I come back to that one. How do I do the Iverson cross without getting the ball stolen, please? Great question. Sell the fake for the Iverson cross. You got to make sure you sell that fake, right? And when you're setting it up, when you're starting, some players will start with the ball more like in front of their body. Keep it more back to your side or behind you. So that way if the defender tries to reach, they have to really go in there for the basketball. And if you see them going for the reach, then you can make the reaction. And instead of going into the crossover, you could just drive to move past them or go into a behind the back, something like that. But yeah, just keep the ball position a little bit more behind you on the setup. That'll help with that Iverson. Besides that, you got to make sure you're selling that fake. And maybe when you're starting, start a little bit further from your defender just to get the feel for it. But to really make the move work and get that defender to bite, you got to close that gap on the defender to really make them bite on that fake. I keep getting nervous doing moves, and then I will forget which move should I do. Good question. Who was that? Sean Frost. Good question, man. So this is a big thing. I don't know. Sometimes in games from time to time, I'll go into like, okay, I'm going to do this move, right? But 9 times out of 10, you're best off just working on your moves like crazy in practice. Just doing them, repping them out, freestyling a little bit, being able to react, flow with your dribble all by yourself. Then when game time comes, stop worrying so much about like, oh, should I do this move? Should I do this move? Look at the defender and see what they're doing and let your body do the work. You put in the practice, right? So your body will naturally kind of start to get that ability to be like, okay, this is the combo move I can go into. This is what I'm comfortable with. This is that move in my bag of tricks that I can go into, and just let that flow. Don't worry so much about like what you're gonna do. Like getting into that flow state of mind is very important if you want to be a great player. Just flow into your moves. Don't worry so much about trying to fake out your defender and I'm going to do this move on him coming up. Just go up to him, see what they're doing. Because the big problem I see with a lot of players is they have good moves, but they do them at the wrong time. Or they won't have the right space or the right angle to get it off. And it's a good move, but now it became bad move because they did it at the wrong time, right? So there's no such thing as a perfect, good move or a bad move. It's doing a move at the right time. And that's one big thing a lot of players need to start understanding more is like, so when you go to your defender, don't be like, okay, I'm going to do this no matter what. Like, you're just asking to get the ball ripped then, or to lose it, or have your move not work. You got to go into it approaching it in a way where it's more like, okay, I'm going to go up to my defender. I'm going to see what my best option is. I'm going to see how he's leaning. I'm going to see which way he's moving. I'm going to see where I can get past him or create space. How can you exploit the way they're playing you and take advantage of that? Mateo says, what is the key to make an effective spin move? So I talked about this a little bit earlier about how to make your spin faster, right? Turning your eyes quicker, making sure your hand's on front of the ball so you can pull it back quick. Make sure you're switching hands after the spin. That's huge. And then besides that, make sure you're tight to the defender, okay? So make it quick, get the hand position right, make sure you're switching hands at the right time, but you gotta be tight. If you are far from your defender, if I go into the spin move and I complete the spin move as I'm turning my head around and I'm just getting to my defender here, now the ball's exposed when I don't have clear vision because I just got done spinning, right? So if you're far from your defender going into the spin, it's like the worst thing you could do in the world. But if you're tight to your defender when you go into the spin move and you complete it, boom, you're behind your defender. So space, huge. You got to get close to your defender. One more question, guys, and then I'm going to jump off here because I'm losing my voice. Let's see. I need a good one. How to practice... Okay, this isn't really a moves question, so this isn't the last one. How to practice handles when it's freezing outside, can't dribble at home, and no open local gym. I got a video on how to practice your handles at home, even if you can't even dribble the basketball. Check that out on my channel. And also on Saturday, I'm going to have a new video completely about everything, you know, that you can work on at home. Footwork, shooting, handles, and some other things you probably haven't thought of. And I'm going to show you how to do that all at home. A lot of them you don't even need a hoop. Actually, none of them you need a hoop for. And you don't even need to dribble the basketball for some of them or bounce it. Okay, so that'll help a lot. So what else we got? How to not lose balance while dribbling. That's a pretty good one. Great one, actually. Because a lot of people don't think about this. So I'm going to give you two parts to this. One, work on your stance, okay? So typically I would tell players, get your feet a little wider if you're more of the squat stance or if you're more of a split stance or a lunge. Get your feet apart a little more. Get your butt down. Bend your knees, okay? If you're standing more upright, I mean, think about it. If you got a pencil standing here or, you know, something like that, you know, it's easy to knock it over. But if you got like a pyramid, you're not going to knock a pyramid over, right? Same thing with you. Get your body in that stance with your feet wider so now you become more of a pyramid. You can't get knocked over so easily, right? That's pretty self-explanatory. So just make that tweak. That'll make a big difference right away. The other thing is, though, working on your footwork with that will help with that. So the other part is like the practice side of things. So working on your footwork so you're more on balance with your movements, being able to stay on balance, and doing your moves with that fork, the ability to stop and go quickly while staying on balance. But one thing I would really recommend you do is just work on your literal balance, not just like your footwork with your balance, but your literal balance. And what I mean by that is working on standing on one leg and doing crossovers, passing the ball off the wall or passing the ball to a teammate and having them throwing it all over while you're balancing on one leg. If you can balance on one leg, super easy. Your ability to stop and being in control and balance is going to be better. Your change of direction, your first step's going to be more explosive and better controlled. But on top of that, when you're on two legs, man, everything's going to feel like a piece of cake because you're used to doing everything on one leg, right? So stick to, you know, doing some of those types of drills on a regular basis. I'd say about 3 days a week, 4 days a week, where you're balancing on one leg, passing, dribbling, things like that for about 1 minute. You'll feel it in certain areas. Everyone feels it in somewhere different, and you'll notice a difference from one leg to the other. You might feel it in your ankle in one leg and your hip in the other, right? You might feel it in your quad in one leg and your calf in the other. You'll find like the little leaks in your body where your body's not efficient and it's not strong in those tiny muscles that you probably don't think about or aren't training. And you'll start being, you know, hitting on those things by doing that and being more effective and improving the strength in those little things. So that's a big thing you could do is work on those balance drills. So you guys, that's all I got for you. I'm about out of voice here. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully this helped you guys out. About 45 minutes of answering you guys' questions about moves. So I would hope at least somebody got some help out of this. If you did find the video helpful, you guys, make sure you click that like button. And as always, I got a free workout. You can click the top link in the description down below. Pop in your email. I send that to you instantly for free. No credit card required or anything like that to get that. And stay tuned. I got my list of things coming up here. Got at-home drills, shooting, passing, dribbling, footwork, a lot more, some things you probably haven't thought of coming Saturday morning. Sunday morning, some tricky crossovers from who I would consider to be the most underrated ball handler in the NBA. These moves are insane. Like, I can't wait to show you guys these moves. You're going to love them. And also drills to master them, okay? So these moves are overall pretty easy. The first one's got a little bit more of an advanced element, so you guys that want something a little more advanced, this will help you. But you can even, if you can't do the advanced version, we'll be able to gain a lot from it. And also the drills where I show you how to master it, you'll be able to gain a lot from that. And then the second move, pretty much anyone should be able to get it down pretty quickly, but it's so crafty, nasty, unexpected. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Both the moves, though, coming on Sunday are crazy, and if you want to improve your game at home, stay tuned for the video coming on Saturday. So Saturday, at-home drills. Sunday, got some insane moves and drills to master them from who I would consider the most underrated ball handler in the NBA. Hope you guys found this helpful. Dab. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks. I'm glad you guys found this helpful. So yeah, I will see you soon. When's the next live Q&A? Says Sang Jung Lee. I don't know, man. I do need to get on here a little more often. I know I don't always have time to get on here all the time. But it's fun to hang out with you guys when I can. So hopefully I'll be seeing you guys soon. I'll try to get on another one of these live Q&As maybe in a week, 2 weeks, a month. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on when I have time. I got a lot going on, especially this time of year with Christmas coming up and stuff. We'll see. But I'll try to get on here more for you guys. But I got some fire coming for regular YouTube videos, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you watch the new stuff, like it, share it with some friends. Help me blow up this channel. I'm trying to help you guys as much as I can. Busting my butt for you guys, so a share would do me a solid, and make sure you subscribe and get on that notification squad. That's all I got for you guys, and thanks again for watching. I will talk to you soon.